Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of the Balderdash podcast, the podcast that is just like the talent portion of a beauty contest. Nobody cares. I am Red Devil, joined, of course, by my co-host, Uncle Legend.
At least tell me I'm pretty. What is going on, everybody, and welcome to episode 9 of the Balderdash podcast. This one's gonna be a different one. It's gonna be a little weird, so buckle in.
Well, I mean, a podcast with us, is it ever normal?
True. It's just because we couldn't get a guest lined up in time. That was the big problem. So now it's open mic night here at the Balderdash podcast studios. And I just don't know. I don't know exactly how that's gonna go. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, it'll go good or bad, I'm sure.
Well, you don't say. Yeah, there's good or bad, huh?
Two outcomes. Absolute worst case scenario, Spades Devil comes in here and says kinky for an hour and a half, and that would be podcast.
That would be worst case scenario for sure. Yeah. How was your week, man? It's weird. We haven't really talked that much this week, so it's gonna be an actual update on how your week was.
Yeah, I mean, you've been busy on Tarky, and I've been busy figuring out what kind of games I want to play. Yeah, so my week wasn't bad. It started off last week. I did have my Wednesday dentist appointment. They basically used the pressure washer on my mouth again, only harder. So I was definitely sore last Wednesday and Thursday, but I get a tooth pulled this Wednesday, and then we're off to finish fixing what needs fixed, and I'm done. Like, I should, have decent looking teeth by the time that's all said and done.
Hell yeah.
But I did catch up on a few shows. I'm all caught up on Peacemaker. I am all caught up on the Book of Boba Fett, which is getting really fucking good if you're a Star Wars fan. I would recommend catching up on that. And I started watching, I don't know about you, but I have a shit ton of subscription services,
right,
for TV.
Oh yeah,
I use Disney. I use HBO. I don't use anything other than that, really. The rest of the family uses the Hulu, the Netflix, all that. And there's a DC section on HBO Max. I'm like, okay, I'll give a couple shows a shot. I tried. It was called Superman and Lois Lane. Have you seen anything about this?
I have. I've seen it. I just didn't know if it would be any good or not.
So, it's basically Superman's on the other side of his career. He has 2 sons. They're settling down. Blah blah blah. It's something I thought showed a lot of promise with his sons potentially having powers and whatnot, but it turned into fucking All My Children, the biggest drama soap opera you could possibly think of. It turns into Superman basically trying to teach his sons life lessons about treating people equally. Just the biggest fuck you to comic book fans, I feel. Just took something that didn't have to exist and made it exist.
Right. Okay. That sucks.
But yeah.
Superman soap opera.
Yeah, Superman soap opera. Exactly. That's basically what it is. So
Superman 90210.
I ditched that shit, but yeah, I'm still Book of Boba Fett. Obi-Wan series starts soon. So that's gonna be the next one.
I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, Obi-Wan's definitely one of my favorite characters, and that is. Oh, it doesn't give me a date here, but anyway, so I know it's coming up here pretty soon.
What's his name is coming back to play Obi-Wan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same actor, and then they got what's his name? The guy who played Bucky in Marvel, the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
He's gonna be playing Anakin.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be killer.
So I think he can pull it off. I mean, I guess Hayden Christian.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is. He didn't want to come back, or they couldn't get him back or something. But
what so you haven't heard the story about him?
No, I haven't.
So he doesn't act anymore. He hates it.
Okay.
So I don't know the exact story, but it's pretty like cliche actor. Like he struggled with mental health problems and got into drugs and ended up just giving it up completely. Like he doesn't do any type of acting. And the same thing happened with the kid who played boy Anakin in the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I heard that about him.
Yeah,
I did hear that about him.
yeah. That's at least that's what I heard. I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, Obi-Wan's probably my favorite character from that particular universe. So I kind of can't wait for that show. But and as far as games, man, it's been tough. I tried Anthem out. Well, I played Anthem with you.
Yeah.
That game seems all right, but I feel like it's let's play it, pass it, move on type scenario.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's fun. We haven't really played it much since that one day, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
But other than that, it's been more Pokemon. I finished up the main story. I have to do some more catching and stuff like that, which I'll probably try and do some streams this week while I can. Although I know Wednesday and Thursday I probably won't be able to, but and then I played some Apex with Vash yesterday.
Oh yeah?
So I want to get good at Apex. I just got to invest the time into it. So, but yeah, that was basically my week. The weekend was busy, just family stuff. Yeah. So anyway, how was your week?
My week was a disaster, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. My sleep schedule went through 8 different changes. I got sucked into Star Wars The Old Republic, and that destroyed my sleep schedule. I was going to bed at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, waking up at 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then streaming for 16 to 18 hours. And as soon as I got that fixed, I got a lovely treat from Fly Breezy in the form of the Death Nut Challenge, which I ended up doing that live on stream, and that damn near killed me. That thing was so freaking hot. Oh my God.
Rough.
Yeah, it was like it was like putting a hot coal from a fire into your mouth. I'm not gonna lie. And I didn't see my wife very much because I had a screwed up sleep schedule and didn't play any Tarkov. Grinded out. I just wanted to get to platinum in Apex, so I grinded that out. Caught up. I binge watched all of season 3 and half of season 4 of Vikings, the History Channel TV series.
Yep. Okay.
Which that is so good. If you haven't watched yet and you're into the fantasy thing and you like you like Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings or anything like that, it's a great show to watch. It's a lot more cinematic and less immersive than Game of Thrones, I would say. Solely because
I think I talked about that, and that's a series I think I watched till season 3 or 4 and then stopped for some reason. I don't remember why.
It's great. It's honestly really good. It is produced on the History Channel, so it's TV 14. So it's not as gory or as sexual as Game of Thrones or anything, but that was pretty much my week, man. My week was all streaming and getting stuff figured out on the stream and life and everything.
So now, have you returned to Star Wars: The Old Republic at all?
Not yet. Yeah.
That's just done. Uninstall.
No, it's not done. I was actually gonna play it again. I've been grinding Apex hard to try and get to platinum. That was my main game, just because the new season comes out tomorrow. That is
2/8 for anybody listening after the live version.
Yeah, February 8th. Yeah, that's true. I guess forget some of you aren't here live. You should be. Look us up on Twitch. Selfless, shameless plug. But no, it was good, man. I was really looking forward to the podcast this week. It kind of gets my week rolling. Yesterday I did a shorter stream and then focused almost all my attention. So our internet I'm hardwired, right? That part of our internet's been fine. So me, my brother, the smart TV in the living room, those are all hardwired, but anything that's on Wi-Fi has been having horrible issues, right?
Yeah.
Not being connected. All of our Google Homes, half of them don't fucking work. The lights, we have all smart lights. Those we had to go back to using switches. It's like going back to the dark ages. I swear, I can't just talk to my lights and make them turn on. So I ended up
poor fucking thing.
I know, dude. I ended up yesterday ordering a new Asus gaming router. Badass.
Which one did you get?
Badass little thing. I have the box. It's the Asus RT-AX82U or the AX5400 dual band.
Okay.
It's super fast, dude. It's honestly, it's really awesome. It's got a huge amount of bandwidth. It's 160 megahertz, which is fast as hell. It's Wi-Fi 6 capable.
Okay.
So honestly, like everybody uses Wi-Fi 5 currently, right? Like that's what most of them are. Wi-Fi 6 is a fairly new thing, and I'm telling you, if you have the opportunity, it is so fast. Upgrade to Wi-Fi 6 for uploading videos to content creation on your phone or browsing, anything like that. And this one's cool because it has a gaming mode, right? So I can set it just from my phone on the app. I can just put it into gaming mode, and 75% of the bandwidth goes directly into anybody that's playing games. So it'll split it up between me, my wife, and my brother because we all play games, and it'll just go straight there. I love it so far. I'm having a great time, but that was a freaking nightmare, dude. The lady at the damn internet place was dumber than a bag of rocks. I swear to God. She had no idea what she was talking about. She didn't know what she was doing. She kept trying to set up a modem, and I have fiber. You don't have a modem. You only have a router. It comes straight into your house to a router. That's it. So she kept trying to set it up as a modem, and it wasn't working. And I'm like, oh my God. Then she puts me on hold for like 20, 25 minutes. And she comes back, and she's like, we're not getting any signal from your router, so we're just going to send a tech out there sometime this week to get it up and running. I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, no, let's figure this out. Like, I'm trying to be nice to her. I try to be nice as long as I can to customer service people because they deal with enough assholes that it is.
Yeah, I'm the same way when I'm dealing with customer service. They deal with 100 people yelling at them, calling them cocksuckers and threatening their lives. I just want to be the guy who's like, I know your job sucks.
Yeah.
Let's just figure it out. Yep.
I'm trying to be nice to her, and she's like, we're just going to sit. I'm like, no, let's try and figure it out. It's got to be something because my other router was working fine, and this one, which is bigger, better, like all around just a better router, is all of a sudden not working. So let's figure this out together, and let's make it happen. And she's like, oh, no, we'll just send a tech out there. And I was like, no, I'm not waiting 3 days for your tech to show up just to tell me that it was some easy fix. I was like, look, I can reset it. I can do whatever. And she's like, okay, just hold on 1 second. She puts me on hold. I go onto the app, and there's the WAN type, right? So I'm gonna look it up right now so if there's any techies listening, they're not like, oh, this guy's a complete idiot. He has no idea what he's talking about.
They're calling us idiots for other reasons. So.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we're good.
But if I go into it, I can change just different things. DHCP or PPOS. Or PPPoS, which are two different ways for the internet service provider to communicate with your router and get it all sent out. So I change it. I'm like, okay, cool. Before she gets back to the phone, I'm checking the TV, I'm checking the phone, I'm checking the computer. Everything's having Wi-Fi. Everything. She goes, yeah, we just can't figure out why you don't have Wi-Fi. And I'm like, well, I have Wi-Fi now. And she goes, no, you don't.
Okay.
Excuse me.
You have Wi-Fi, but she doesn't think you have Wi-Fi.
She's like, no, she told me, no, you don't. Like, so I took my phone and I held it up to the TV that was playing Hulu. I'm like, this is Hulu. And it's playing. And I'm like, look, I have Wi-Fi, so I just need to figure out why you guys aren't seeing that I have Wi-Fi. Because I don't want a problem to come up a few days down the road. Still trying to be super nice to her. Super cordial. I apologize for things I don't need to apologize for. The whole night.
Yeah.
Finally, dude, she's like, okay, give me 1 second. She puts me on hold for another 15 minutes. And finally comes back and she goes, yeah, never mind. It looks all good. And I'm like, okay, cool. If I have any problems tomorrow, I'm going to call you guys back and we can try and figure this out. But yeah, for right now, I guess we'll just see how it goes. I did notice that the speeds were a little bit slower than advertised, but I understand the service is new and I got to get it. She's like, dude, she's like, oh yeah, you could call us back. And I was like, all right, cool. Thank you. She didn't say anything. She didn't say nothing. She didn't say you're welcome. She didn't say anything. And I was like, okay, cool. Thanks. Have a good evening. And she goes, okay.
We're at this point where we get these people in these jobs who are undertrained or don't have enough knowledge to perform the actual, like, if you're gonna work with Asus or any tech stuff, you should have some form of background. You should not have like a printout in front of you saying, if this, tell them this.
I know, dude.
That shit drives me insane. Like,
well, she had no like
plug it, unplug it, and plug it back in. I've already done this. Like, I already know more than you.
My biggest complaint of the whole phone call was she didn't have any sense of like common courtesy, right? I would say sorry, I would say thank you, I would say my bad or something like that, and she would never respond. She wouldn't say you're welcome. She wouldn't say it's okay. She would just like I was inconveniencing her by calling to set up my Wi-Fi. Oh my god.
Yeah, them people deal with hundreds and hundreds of calls a day.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure she's just past giving a fuck at that point.
Yeah, I was trying to be nice to her, but at the same time, I just wanted to start screaming through the phone.
I get it. Yep, trust me, I get it.
Yeah, that was my week. So hopefully this week goes a little better. I'm gonna try and stay on a better sleep schedule, and I'm not gonna do the death nut challenge. I'll just make it that simple. That's not gonna happen.
That'll probably make your week go a little better, I would imagine.
I was dying for a day and a half, dude. It was nuts. I didn't think you think that the beginning, like when you feel the burn in your mouth, is the worst part. The worst part is just the knives that come that are in your gut at that point. You're just getting torn apart. Don't do it.
Yeah. See, I have gastrointestinal reflux disease. So if I were to do the death nut challenge, I would probably feel it for about a week.
Don't do it.
So that's why we went out to eat Saturday and I got what did I get? I got brisket quesadillas and I got jalapenos in them. Now that I can do, like, that's not a problem, but to just have these capsaicin 9 million Scoville, like, that's gonna fuck me up for a week.
Oh yeah. Yeah, pure capsaicin crystals.
Yeah, I can do hot sauce, I can do jalapenos, but that's about it.
Oh, and then I got these trolls in my chat like, oh, it's not that hot. I'd eat that for breakfast. Suck me, dude. No, you wouldn't. You would not be eating capsaicin crystals for breakfast.
I only know one person that I think could accomplish that. Like, could just have that kind of stuff. I've seen him do it, and he, has like no reaction to it. And that's Spades Devil. That's my manager in my chat.
Oh, you mean the one that can't feel half of his mouth anyway? That's cheating.
Yeah.
That's cheating.
Well,
no, dude, even if you eat spicy food all the time, like, that shit is hot, man. Like, I'm talking like, I thought I was breathing fire hot. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Yeah. See, I've never experienced it. Hottest thing I've really had is like jalapenos and stuff like that. And I'm okay with drawing the line there because I've seen how much pain you've been in. But I mean, friend of the show, Fly Breezy, I did send him the White Lightning challenge. So
that'll be fun. About
kind of paying him back for sending everybody shit.
Yeah, I know, dude. He trolls everyone else. It's about time somebody got him a little something. You know what I mean?
But I will say, like, I wasn't able to catch the beginning of that stream when you were doing the Death Knot challenge. But I do remember when I came in, you were talking about just doing level 5, and I put right up in chat. I'm like, you do a lot of dumb shit. You ain't doing this for free. People are fucking paying if you're gonna be tortured like that.
The first 3, I was an idiot. So they come in like packages with like 7 or 8 nuts in each package, and they're designed for like 2 or 3 people to do it. So you're only supposed to have 1 or 2 nuts, And I just threw the whole pack back, not knowing that was the deal. So I just ate all like 7 or 8. They're hot as shit. And after the first 3, dude, I didn't think I could go on, and I felt like I was gonna pass out. And Spades was the one. He actually came into my Discord and he was like, "Hey, moron, you're only supposed to eat one. Why don't you slow down or you're going to pass out or throw up? And I was like, all right, yeah, you're probably right. Good call. Good call.
Yeah, that's the thing about Spades. He's a big fucking troll, but he does care a little bit.
You know what? He's one of them. He's kind of like a cactus, dude. He's prickly on the outside, but once you cut into him, he's soft and gushy, and he's
soft and gushy.
Yeah.
Spades, such a caring fellow.
Yeah. Oh my god. But anyway, why don't we tackle any news up front? Why don't we get it out of the way? So I haven't seen anything huge come out of the gaming industry this week. Did you have anything that you wanted to cover?
I ain't got shit, to be honest with you. I did some searching today. I did some searching yesterday. Like, some of the biggest things I found is like Bungie was working on a streaming service.
Okay.
Before they were purchased, but now that's, obviously that's out the fucking window.
Yeah, all their stuff will go on PSN anyway.
But like right now, I go to IGN, I go to news, and it's mostly like movies, TV series, news, the Super Bowl coming up. Yeah, nothing really going on in gaming world.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing, a lot of people are talking about it, a lot of people are playing it. Dying Light 2. It's gotten a bunch of mixed reviews. It's got a bunch of mixed reviews, and one headline that I saw earlier today, I just found it. It's on IGN. It's Dying Light 2 has shambled onto Steam's 25 most played games of all time.
Damn, that's kind of impressive.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive. And the game, if you're not very familiar with it, it's a survival cinematic story-driven zombie game, but it's a lot different. There's a lot of movement mechanics. There's a lot of parkour. There's character development. There's settlement. So imagine like your basic zombie apocalypse movie or whatever, video game, whatever you like to play. But you have a fairly established society outside of the zombies, right? So you have little clans. You have a somewhat basic political system amongst those clans. Like, it's a little ways into a zombie apocalypse. So it's not fresh start. You get a little bit of insight into what would the world maybe look like 20 years after the zombies showed up.
Yeah, I've watched a couple streams of it. Nothing major. It looks good. Is it something I want to pick up? It's just, can I give it the time I want to give it? Type situation.
Yeah.
But so I went to Steam and I went to their, they're actually very positive reviews as of late. Like, there's no like mixed reviews or anything like that, at least on Steam. But I read this review. I wanted to read this on the stream here because I just read it. I thought it was hilarious. When your 6-year-old GTX 1060 can run Dying Light 2 on launch, insert Thor meme. I'm still worthy. Love it.
That's awesome, dude. One thing. So I watch Deadly Slob. He's really big in the Escape from Tarkov community. He averages a few thousand people in his stream, and he picked up Dying Light 2 on release day. And he's played it a couple times since then, and he described it very well. On his thoughts on the game. It's a very cinematic playthrough, which really puts you immersed into the game, but that also kind of leaves out some feeling of realism or like it kind of leaves a lot to be wanted in terms of realism and combat techniques. Because the combat's very like brutal and just straight to the point, right? You just hack and slash through zombies. And I've consumed a lot of Dying Light 2 content. I'm not gonna lie. I have watched a lot of videos on it, and after watching it, I think that's the best way to put it, man. Like, if you're looking for a very realistic game on like what would a zombie apocalypse be like, this is not the game. This plays through from what I've seen and from what I've watched, it plays through a ton like a movie, right? It's very cinematic. Okay. A lot of the parkour feels very fluid, but at the same time, there's a lot of like breaks that almost feel like a mini, like a in like Forza when you take a jump and it does like all the camera angles of you jumping.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, but like to where like the jumps feel very cinematic and feel very movie like, which to me sounds like a lot of fun. You can play the game with up to 4 of your friends, or up to 3 of your friends. Sorry, 4 people total.
Mhm.
Which I think has a huge selling point on it, because honestly, games,
Co-op, yeah.
yeah, it's open world, it's non-linear. A lot of zombie games that you can play with your friends are either super linear or have no story, and this is like a pretty good balance. Between open world and story. So I don't know. It might be a buy for me. I'm waiting a
Well,
little bit longer.
here's my question on it. So I really wanted to get Far Cry 6. I was
Okay.
like, this game looks right up my alley and everything, and this looks like something I'd want to do. And then I watched the Rad Brad play it on YouTube. I watched a playthrough of it.
Right.
And I feel like I don't have to buy it and play it now. Do you think Dying Light 2 is on a similar level to that?
I don't know. I've watched a lot of videos and streamers play it, and I feel like there's still a lot of fun to be had. Then again, though,
Okay.
I don't really watch them when they're doing like the cutscenes or the cinematics or anything. I just really watch them during the gameplay, and they're on in the background of whatever I'm doing. So I can't speak about that too much. But the Far Cry series has always been like that, though, very story driven. So once you
Mm-hmm.
and full of twists and turns and backstabs and stuff. So once you know when all of that's coming, it kind of takes the fun out of those games. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. No, I was just curious. I haven't absorbed as much content on that game as you have, so but I know with Far Cry 6, I was like, yeah, I'm getting this. Then I watched a playthrough of it and I'm like, well, what am I gonna do different?
Right.
So
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, nothing huge notable released. Not a lot of news coming out. I'd imagine that sometime this month, man, sometime before the end of February, we're gonna hear from the Activision buyout from Microsoft on exactly what their plan is moving forward. The deal's pretty much been finalized. They're just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And once we find out what their roadmap looks like to future game development, as well as adopting the titles that they want to adopt into the Xbox Game Pass, that's going to be huge. That would follow roughly the same time frame as Bethesda. When they bought Bethesda Studios, they it was about a month after they finalized and closed the deal that we got an actual like taste of what does this mean for the future of Bethesda. And I think the same could be said about Activision once they get everything finalized. I'm hoping by the end of February we'll have a roadmap on what they're going to do, or at least an idea of what's happening.
and if I see one more fucking TikTok of, oh my god, Sony bought Bungie, they now own Halo, ha ha ha. I don't care if you're fucking joking or not. I'm gonna reach through my goddamn phone and choke you out.
Yeah.
I am so sick of people saying Sony acquired Halo. Like, just do your fucking research. And I know some of them are joking. Like, don't get me wrong. I know some of them are just trolls looking for people to click on there, call them a dumb fuck, interaction. But some of these people are legit, like, thinking, like, oh, yeah, they got Halo now. Ha ha ha. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. Literally one of the Bungie owns a bunch of old games. But then after 2000, they don't own anything until Destiny.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you guys get one game you already have.
I honestly, I like the buy just because this gives Sony a multiplayer developer.
Yes, 100%.
So I think it was more about that kind of acquisition than it was about acquiring Destiny 2.
You know what? I love the buy. I'm not a Sony guy. Never had, the last Sony product I had was a PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
I don't really like a lot of the games they've put out, a lot of their exclusives. But I'm excited to see what they can do with Bungie, especially because Bungie is a good developer and just in general.
Yeah, I'm hoping they give them some some titles and allow them to do something with them instead of trying to ride out Destiny 2, which is probably a little closer to the end of its lifespan.
Right.
Like, I think this will be the last big DLC, and then they probably should start looking to do like Destiny 3 or something, some other project.
Oh, excuse me.
I don't see this lasting as long as like a WoW.
No. I don't, I'm gonna be real, man. I don't know if anything's gonna last as long as WoW.
Probably not.
Yeah, that game, That is a long record to break right there.
Oh yeah.
That is very long. All right, so I guess moving on. That's your gaming news with your two morons. Bum, bum, bum.
Gaming news.
Yeah. Yeah. Put that on your Go XLR.
Yeah, like
Tucked on it for a minute.
yeah. My
But
fucking XLR reset. I lost almost everything.
did
I
you
had to
really?
redo everything. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It updated and I lost my whole entire fucking soundboard. So I got to go back through and set all that shit back up.
Oh, that's lame.
Right.
But like I said at the top of the podcast, we don't have a guest set up for today. We couldn't get one nailed down in time. So now I think it's a good time. You know, we're at about the point where we'd bring our guest on. This is open mic night here at the Balderdash podcast. Do you have a question, a comment, a concern? Maybe you just want to come in here and shoot the shit with your two favorite boys. I don't know what it is, but the line is open. All you have to do is join a voice channel on the Devil's Den Discord. Hop in one of the voice channels. We'll drag you in, and you can let us know. You can let us know what's going on in your life, what you want to talk about. Why
you can just jump right into general with Spades Devil and he will throw you up here.
There you go. I love having Spades in here. It makes it so much easier. Okay. Why we let that get going? I want to play a fun game that I've seen all over TikTok and some other podcasts have done it. I'm going to give you a headline and you tell me if it was New York Times or The Onion. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you an article headline, and do you know what The Onion is?
Yeah, I'm looking it up now just to have a reference point.
The Onion is all fake news. It's satirical comedy, so it's all like, I'm trying to find one that I can read that's funny. That's not. I'm
good. I got
Okay.
enough information to make this work.
All right, so they. What was it, dude? It was like The Onion became popular. I'm going to give you a little history on The Onion because I love this website because it's hilarious. But so The Onion became popular about 5 years ago when they released, I don't remember the exact article, but it was like a groundbreaking article, right? Like people were going nuts about it. Everyone thought it was real. And it was just a joke by one guy. He just wrote it to prove to people that people will believe anything they read on the internet as long as it comes with a good headline and it's well written. And and so you go so it blew up after he announced that it was fake. And now all it is, dude, is it's just all satirical news articles that are 100% bullshit, but they're written so well that sometimes you can't tell they're fake. So you actually have to do research to find it out, or else you'll just end up looking like an idiot at dinner when you try to bring it up to your family. Right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's a good time. So we're gonna start off with one here. These all come from either the New York Times or The Onion. So those are your two choices. Okay. Pancake-loving turtle, a family heirloom, kidnapped from home he's visited for years.
New York Times.
That is New York Times. It took place in Brookhaven on August 21st. Is about Miss Edward Rayner's pet turtle, which came to her back door every day in spring and summer for 4 years to get pancakes made by a recipe known to her family for 200 years, was kidnapped and advertised as lost in the current issue of the Brookhaven Advance. That took place back on August 22nd in 1925.
Interesting.
Let's see here. Let me pull up another one. Wife returns after having a fine funeral and asks okay, sorry. It was like spaced out weird. Wife returns after having fine funeral and asks city to pay for the bill.
Go read that again.
Wife returns after having a fine funeral and asks city to pay the bill.
A fine funeral.
Yeah, like a nice funeral.
A nice funeral. Ask the city to pay the bill. New York Times.
Oh, that is also you're on a roll. That is also the New York Times. This
That just
happened
doesn't
back.
surprise me.
This happened back in 1904. So I'm gonna do a quick summary of the article. Pretty much a gentleman. They call him the Valente. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that was his title back in the day or something. But he learned he had buried the wrong woman and later asked the city to pay the bill after the morgue keeper persuaded him against his judgment as to identify a body, declaring
Okay.
that the city falsely notified him that his wife was dead and saddled him with the expense of a funeral for a strange woman, Ignacio Valente, who lived at the time at 311 East 16th Street, has filed a bill for $250 against the city. The auditing bureau of the finance department now has it in charge. So
Okay.
this is something that I like. If you go back and read old news articles like pre 1940, even a little bit after, whenever they say a name in the article, they will also give the person's address. Does not matter. Does not
Imagine
matter.
doing that shit nowadays.
I know. And back then, dude, it did not matter. This news articles would do this, and it would literally, like, you can go back and find news articles of people who were accused of murder, of like all this stuff, and it always gives their address, and it would incite riots. It would do all kinds of stuff. So a little bit later on is when they stopped doing that, and like I believe it was in like the late 40s to early 50s.
That makes sense. That sounds about right for the times.
Yeah. Let me see here. Centuries of agricultural inbreeding produce apple with warped, protruding jaw.
Oh, that one's tough, but I'm gonna say onion.
Oh, you are on a roll. That is from the Onion. That is from the Onion. I can.
It
Yeah,
sounds like something that could be legit. Like, don't get me wrong. It does sound like something that could be legit, but
I'm just gonna read you an excerpt from it because it is pretty funny. They've tried to keep the Granny Smith bloodline pure for 150 years, but nature doesn't like that sort of thing, said Oregon native Eric McCree, who claimed that concerns over diluting the reputedly superior genetics of the prized cultivator had led local farmers to cross-populate new trees with seeds from the same original apple. Good old Eric McCree, dude.
See, if you would have read that to me, like that part of the article, I would have immediately known it was fake.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just it's so much
Yeah,
fun.
no.
Parrot was a gas fiend. At last killed his owner by tearing off burner while she slept.
Ooh. Oh. I'm going with the onion.
No, that was from
That was an actual.
that was the New York Times, 1899. Alice Knott, 23 years old, of 803 12th Street, came to her death yesterday through the instrumentality of her pet parrot, an evil dispositioned bird who was cordially detested by everybody except his mistress, but who seemed to have a strong affection for her.
Okay. All right.
Dude, it's so good. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was the gas fiend. That's why I was thinking. I'm like, who would use the words gas fiend?
Gas fiend.
That's why
Yeah.
I thought it was fake. But all right. All right.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a more realistic one so I can compare these two because I found two stories that are pretty similar and one is fake and one is real. I'm gonna give you both.
You're going to give me both of them. And I got to decide which one's fake and which one's not.
Yep. Lazy man in bed 10 years. Not sick, but just refuses to get up. Or study shows Xbox and PlayStation users get 97% less activity than those in sports.
I'm gonna go with the second one is the Onion, and the
Yes.
first one is the New York Times.
Yes. And it's really funny. The New York Times one comes from 1909.
No shit.
This is the start, dude. March
You're from
13th.
1909.
What's up,
we got
red
a
line?
red line.
The laziest man in the world lives in this village. His name is John Mumkra, and he has been in bed 10 years because he is unwilling to comply with the rules of Jersey County Farm, which say that everyone living there shall rise at 5 a.m. Mumkra is not sick. He eats regularly and is in perfect health. He just didn't want to get up. He didn't want to move, dude. Back in 1909. That's imagine it back then.
I feel like nowadays I would almost assume that people would not want to move and they would just want to, be lazy and lay in bed and watch TV. But in 1909,
Yeah. Yep.
that's a little different. Like, what are you doing in bed other than just laying there not moving?
What is up, Redline? Welcome to the podcast, baby. How are you?
What's up, gentlemen? Oh, dude, I'm fucking stressed.
Yeah, a little stressed.
Yeah.
All right, what's got you stressed?
So we got our duplex we're living in has been sold twice in the 4 years we've lived here. In the last 6 months, it's been sold twice.
Okay.
So the new landlord took over, and then they told our neighbors next door, we're not going to renew your lease, whatever. Well, now we just got a letter that, oh, hey, you got to be out by March 10th.
No shit.
Yeah. Because they found foundation damage on the other side. So now they got to come in and fix both fucking sides.
Oh,
son of a bitch. Just tell him you want to lean a little bit.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Well, and there's nothing out there in our price range. Nothing. Everything is 1,500 or higher.
Yeah. Hey, man. My brother is in the same spot here, so I feel for you on that one.
It's fucking terrible. And you can't trust anything that's listed anymore. Going through Craigslist freaking apartments housing, found one for $875. So they looked at it and went and looked at that Zillow for the thing. No, it's for rent for like $1,400.
Oofda.
And I should have known from the phone number because the phone number is a California freaking phone number.
Oh, yeah, dude. Damn Californians.
That's the problem.
I know. You want to talk about somewhere that will eventually not be part of the United States. Not because we're going to get rid of it, but because it's going to get shaken and burned off of that side of the country.
It's going to fall in the ocean and I'll be just fucking fine with that. And no, Spades, I can't do trailers.
Hey, all right, Redline, you want to play this game with us?
We'll play a game.
You want to play a little game?
You got a little bit of an echo to your mic.
Do I?
I want to play.
Vash wants
It's
to play
Vash.
too. Vash Daddy.
Kids messing with my mic. They turn my echo up. What's up, Vash?
What's up, BBs? How are y'all?
We got a fucking party in here tonight.
Yeah,
I heard
know.
game and I was like, I'm in. Who's touching who?
You're touching me, baby.
Vash, how was your day, big dog?
Oh, it was actually a better Monday than normal Monday, so I can't complain.
Hell
Really?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could complain, but nobody wants to listen, so I'll just keep it to myself.
Fair enough.
So yeah. So game. I'm interested. What game are we
Okay,
playing?
so I'm gonna read you guys two headlines. Do you both know what the Onion is? Are you familiar?
Yep. Fake news. Gotcha.
Yep,
Vaguely,
fake news. Okay, so I'm gonna read you two headlines. One is from the Onion, and one is from the New York Times. You tell me which is which. Okay, this seems pretty simple, right?
Yep.
Okay, things you should never say to someone who makes minimum wage. Flatbush has a ghost.
What?
Those are your two headlines. Flatbush has a ghost.
I thought those were together.
No. Okay, so this is one. Things you should never say to someone who makes minimum wage.
Okay.
Or Flatbush has a ghost. Which one is real and which one is fake?
The things you don't say to people make minimum wage sounds like
that's
going
gonna
to
be real.
That was
I'm
going to be
going
real.
opposite.
No, we're probably
going
wrong
opposite.
because it's so off. It's so off.
I'm going with the Flatbush has a ghost is the New York Times, And the things you shouldn't say to people who make minimum wage is
You think
the onion.
so? You're gonna go with
That's
the
what I'm going
ghost
with.
is real, huh?
I'm going with the ghost is real.
Well, boys, Red Devil is he is correct. He is
I know,
correct.
Can't be
Son of
fucking
a
me, dude.
bitch.
So Flatbush Has a Ghost is from the New York Times back in 1896.
Wait, so Flatbush is? It sounds like it would that would be like a pirate's name.
It is the old town of Flatbush, now the 29th ward of Brooklyn, has a ghost, a Simon Pure, sure enough, ghost that nightly stalks on East Broadway near Nostrand Avenue and stops at the house of Charles Norton to make inquiries for a hand that it lost there many years ago while its restless spirit was in the flesh.
He got it cut off for masturbating too much.
Oh,
We'd all be
great.
fucked if we lived in that time. None of us would have hands.
I'd have nubs.
Yeah.
I'd have any
it's
rest.
right.
You'd have nubs.
They take my feet too at that point.
Oh no! No, I wouldn't. I don't want to see that.
Snap incoming, Vash.
Oh shit! Well, that was a fun game. I'm out of here.
Oh, it's not over yet. I got more, dude. There's so many of these. It's insane.
right,
Okay. Here's the first one. Okay. Miss Thompson said we might get to play Minecraft if we finish the quiz by 11:45. That's the first one. The second one is Santa dies on Christmas trip.
Those are both like. I feel like both could go either way.
They're out
But
there,
I'm gonna say Santa dies on Christmas trip is New York Times, and the other one's the Onion.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the opposite though. I'm gonna say Minecraft is the New York Times.
I'm going with Santa dying is New York Times.
Well, two of you are right. Santa dies on Christmas
Let's
trip
go.
is from the New York Times. It came out on Christmas, December 25th, 1913.
Oh my god! All the kids were horrified.
Dude, this is. I'm gonna read you guys just the first sentence of this. Okay, buckle up, boys. Now, mind you, this is from 1913. Little crippled Wilbur Harris, 8 years old, is to have a Merry Christmas, but his Santa Claus is dead.
Oh my god!
What?
Holy shit!
Kids, if you were listening to this podcast, Santa is real. Okay, I've seen him.
Santa's alive. I
Yeah.
promise.
Okay, here's the last
Oh
half of
my
that.
God.
Here's the last half of that paragraph because it gets so much worse, and you guys have to hear this.
Okay.
It was W.H. Heap, a philanthropist who came to Denver from Paterson, New Jersey, because stricken with tuberculosis, who made possible the salvation of the Christmas myth for Wilbur.
Hold on. He came from where?
Paterson, New Jersey.
Okay, I thought you said Denver.
Well, he came to Denver from
Okay.
Paterson.
Yeah, I
New
don't
Jersey.
trust anybody in Denver.
I wouldn't either, dude. To anybody listening, that's I live in Colorado. So
All right, hit me with one more, and then I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing.
okay. Let's see. Let me find.
Make it a
good
juicy one.
Oh,
I want a juicer, baby.
one. Okay, here we go.
This better leave Vash's beard wet when you're done, legend.
Oh shoot! I lost it. I clicked on something. I shouldn't have
Oh
clicked. I
my
shouldn't have clicked.
God.
Jesus Christ.
Stop clicking,
Okay,
legend.
okay, here you go. Celebrity chefs describe their favorite hangover foods for fans.
Okay.
Goat is still goat despite magic ritual.
Ooh. Ooh.
Just because it's so fucking far fetched, I'm gonna go with your goat is real. Is the New York Times.
See, I want to say that's real, but something in my head says it's onion. I'm doing that.
The goat is onion. The goat is onion. Okay.
Give me the first story again.
Celebrity chefs describe their favorite hangover foods to their fans.
That's New York Times.
That's New York
Agreed.
Times.
I'm going with that's New York Times.
All right.
Yep.
Well, you guys should have listened to Redline because the goat is New York
Fucking-
Times.
Fuck you, Redline.
From
Fuck the New York Times. They have nothing else to write about. Jesus. Hey, call me New York Times. I'll give you a whole life story that'll sound way better than goats. I promise.
Oh my god.
This story is from June 18th, 1932. Goat is still goat despite magic ritual. Psych investigators failed to change it into a young man on misty German peak. A group of eminent German and British investigators into psych phenomena ascended tonight to the top of the broken Germany's magic mountain, and in accordance with ancient rite, attempted to change a billy goat into a young man. Somehow or other, it didn't come off. Can you imagine why it didn't work? It sounds like they took all the proper steps. Honestly,
I wonder if he got $20 to make the noise.
I want to know what the magic rite was. And you know what, Vash?
Oh.
What?
Fuck you.
I got a quick story. So that's funny. We were talking about goats and shit. So there was a couple years ago, there was a furry event, and there was, I'm talking about like legit furries,
Legends favorite
like
things.
Crawling, sitting, drinking,
oh my
eating,
God.
humping, whatever. It was a real thing. And there was a goat furry. And
wait, really?
He was on 4 running and ramming into everybody like he was a goat. And he was bah!
That is not a furry. That is a troll. That is what that is.
No, he had the whole costume and everything. And the thing is, like if that's what you like to do for fun, cool. But when you are just getting out of work after a long day and you walk out and there's 700 furries, you think you're on something. I'm just saying.
So wait, what were you doing that you were there?
I was working. I was so I used to work downtown Nashville, and I get off work at 5:00, and this is no bullshit. I get on the shuttle from my office, and to take the shuttle from my office to my car, and I get on the shuttle, and there is a furry dog sitting in the very first row of seats, sitting in the chair like a dog. And I'm like, okay. I'm not going to ask questions. And so my stop comes up, I get off, and I notice he gets up and gets off too. That he gets off like a dog, gets on all 4 and crawls down the steps. And the bus driver makes eye contact with me, and I just keep going about my way. And I walk down a block, and boom, 800 of them. 800 furries.
Like in the street?
They were in a parking lot. It was like a little meetup convention thing, and I was terrified.
Okay.
I had to. I did one of those things where you rub your eyes, make sure you're seeing shit right, and I rubbed it again just to make sure I was. Bro, I'm petrified by that.
I gotta say I can relate to you on that one because Denver, the convention center in Denver hosts one of the largest furry things, right?
And Uncle's going this year.
No, I'm not going this year. I do not attend. You know, if that's what you like to do, good for you, but that's not my deal. And we didn't know that it was this week. And so me and my homie are out putting a sign up right across the street from the convention center. And we just took a pickup truck. And dude, it was seriously, we were super focused on this sign and we get it hung and it took us like an hour. We hadn't turned around or nothing. We were just trying to get this thing on. And we both turn around simultaneously and both gasp. Everything going up to the convention center is just lined with people dressed up in these costumes.
It's not something like you're like, 5 o'clock on a random Thursday. You're not like, oh, I'm just going to see 800 furries running around. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against furries, so putting that out there. But it was just something I was not expecting on a random ass Thursday, okay?
Exactly. No, when you see it and you're not expecting it, you definitely feel like you got drugged. It's the weirdest feeling.
Yep, it was a Monday. But anyway, guys, I love you. Great podcast. I will check y'all later.
I love you too, brother.
Vash.
Later, Vash.
I feel like he was going there on purpose. I'm just gonna say that now. That's why I was investigating, because I feel like Vash showed up, and if he was a furry, I'm guessing he would probably be. Well, this is tough. I'm guessing he would be some form of a monkey.
A monkey? I was gonna say a
He
bear.
loves monkeys.
I could
Okay.
say, I could see
He's like a gorilla. I'm thinking. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's probably why the bus driver looked at him and he made eye contact, because he didn't have the top half of his costume on yet. He was just wearing the bottom half.
Yeah,
So the bus
bottom.
driver's like, dude. And then he like made eye contact. And then the reason he was rubbing his eyes was he's getting ready to put the head on,
But anyway, we love Vash here. It's okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, I have more if you want to keep doing that, or we can move on to a different segment. But I thought that would be fun because, dude, some of these old ones, old New York Times articles are just nuts.
Yeah, I know we have one question from our following on Discord. Other than that, we don't have that much planned. So if we want to continue playing the game, I'm down. If we want to do the question, I'm down.
Let's you know what? I've seen the question, and it is going to turn into a whole conversation on this podcast with how you and I both feel about the subject. So why don't we just do the question, and Redline, you're more than welcome to hang out in here and put your input in, so don't feel like you have to run away. But let's do the question. Let's just get it out, and then we'll probably end on that because it's gonna be a minute discussing it.
All right. So this question comes from Colonel Gohard, which was actually our first guest on the podcast. You can go find him on episode 1. So he wants to know current state of AAA game titles releasing broken. Is it due to pressure to make market deadlines, pressure from the consumer community, or are the games requiring so much that delivering the scale expected of a new title is becoming too much for some to handle? Or perhaps are studios stuck between trying to feed what's trending and losing touch on what's expected or required?
It's such, it is such a difficult topic because I feel like there's a lot of factors that go into why games come out broken. And I think it depends on the publisher you look at, right? Because
I agree with that.
For me, like, everybody wants to be like, oh man, well, back in the good old days. Okay, let's rewind for a second back to the good old days that we all remember. How many AAA studios were there? I bet you can name
many.
every single one of them, right?
Oh, there was a handful.
Yeah, there's EA, Activision, Bungie, Microsoft Game Studios wasn't technically around yet, so it was Bungie still.
It was basically Bungie and
and then the EA break off that that would have been EA Sports if you wanted, because it was kind of its own division back then, and that was it, man. You didn't have, everyone else wasn't really a AAA title. They weren't a AAA studio. That was it. Mm-hmm. So you had Call of Duty, you had sports games, you had Halo, you slowly got Gears of War, and then Mystery in the chat, Capcom was huge back then too, right? And then you had Nintendo, and that was it, right? I'll say at most, at the height, right? Like we'll say Modern Warfare 3, at the height, like the pinnacle, one of the last, like a lot of people agree, one of the last good Call of Duties, right? Halo Reach, Modern Warfare 3, that era of gaming, there was probably 6 to 7 AAA studios, right? At most.
Yeah.
Now you look at the market now. How many are there? There's a ton, and there's a lot that you don't even know about, right? That are huge in other places of the world that aren't huge in the US. You still have EA, you have Bethesda, you have all of Xbox Game Studios, right? You have Activision, you have Blizzard, which is still making kind of their own games and updating their own games, even though they're under the Activision banner, right? You have 2K, you have who makes You have BioWare still, right? BioWare's still huge and they're still developing things. You have, I mean, there's at least 10 to 15 AAA studios. So I think that goes into a lot of why companies feel the need to release their games as fast as possible, because people move on from your game so fast that you have to get another title out to keep their attention.
That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. I mean, because they got to keep pushing them out or they're going to fall behind. And then, shareholders are like, hey, why the fuck are we not making money?
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, well, the whole thing with them releasing Broken is ever since internet updates have become a thing, every game has released Broken in some way.
True.
I feel like that's just the way it is with them being able to push a 5 gig update to fix something at launch or after launch. So I don't foresee that ending anytime soon with them being released Broken. My problem more or less is I'm going to use Cyberpunk as an example. All right. Okay. So Cyberpunk, they decided this game has to be available on everything. And that was one of their agreements with Microsoft and Sony, was it would be available on the PS4 and the Xbox One. So they have to make a game that runs on the Xbox One, which released in 2013?
Yes.
On the Xbox Series X, on PC, on PS4, and PS5. They have to make a game that runs on all of them. And of course it doesn't. You can't have a game that graphically intense run on an Xbox One on a fucking 7-8-year-old piece of equipment. And whenever these games developers are making games for the lowest common denominator, it ruins gaming for everybody.
Right.
I don't want Call of Duty to be okay to run on mobile, because then my experience on PC is going to be complete and utter shit.
Right.
And I feel like that is a very bad direction we're headed in with gaming, is the lowest common denominator. What does it have to work on? I understand new consoles are hard to get. Graphic cards are expensive. But sometimes they just need to be like, okay, we just need this to be next gen.
Right. And, I think that lowest common denominator also applies to like skill level too, right? Because a lot of like the broken things that you see in gaming now, it might not be glitches. It might not be, crashing or anything like that. It could also go to balancing, right? Whether it's balancing weapons or balancing enemies or balancing difficulty level, whatever it may be. Yep. A lot of it is geared one way or the other, right? So you either have to play and sweat your nuts off, dude, to even get a kill in a multiplayer game, or it's so incredibly easy that it's not fun to play for you or for the people playing against you, right? And since a lot of places or a lot of companies are doing away with ranked or competitive style gameplay, that makes it really hard for both casual and full-time gamers to enjoy playing your game, because it's either Call of Duty, as I hate to say it, but it's the perfect example, right? I started to not enjoy Warzone because I had to try. I couldn't just fuck around and do all this weird stuff, right? I had to try super hard to just get a kill, to where and because of the skill-based matchmaking, and it's because they have no ranked. If they have a ranked mode, dude, I could go into quick play and I could just mess around, or I could go into the ranked mode and I could try really hard, but there's no option. It's one way or the other. And I feel like that's where a lot of the shit comes in, where it's like, what do you do? How do you balance that to make it? And the only way is to do a ranked game mode, but instead of doing that, they cater to the casual players and they just make full-time gamers have to try super, super hard. And Breezy asks, why do I like Apex then? Right? Because Apex is very hard, but it's very hard in ranked mode, and it has a ranked mode, and it also has quick play. If I just want to mess around, or I want to play with someone who maybe doesn't play it as much as I do, and I want to teach someone to play, I'm not going to pull them into ranked. We could go run quick play together, and we could just fuck around, and I can help them learn, or we can mess around and we could try like weird things or glitches or whatever. But then when I want to really try and I want to grind for an achievement or something, I can go play ranked with my normal squad or with my homies or by myself or whatever. And so
and that's the thing. They have a difference. They have quick play and they have a ranked.
Exactly.
Is the way it should be. The way Warzone should be. I should be able to go into Warzone and be like, I just want to goof off with my friends with an AK and a fucking RPG. And that's what we're going to do all night. And then I should be like, okay, red line unk, we're going to get serious. Let's grind up the ranks. And we hop in and we do that. But the option's not fucking there.
No, and it should be. It needs to be there because they were supposed to do that with skill-based matchmaking. You were supposed to be ranked with people who were your same skill set. But it's not that way because we could jump in a game right now and combined between the three of us, we average probably what, a 1.2 KD, maybe 1.3. And we could be thrown in a game with guys with a freaking 2.5 or higher. We could be thrown in with fucking Stone Mountain for all we know, or Tim the Tap Man.
Yeah, good old Tim. Good old Timmy.
I'm not scared of Tim.
He's gonna die to fall damage.
Stone Mountain. Yeah, I'm scared of Stone. Like he's no fucking joke.
Stone might die to fall damage too, but at the end of the day, it's we're gonna get shit on by two professional Call of Duty players that we shouldn't even be ranked. We shouldn't even be playing against because we're not at their level.
You know, I think that the biggest problem with gaming right now is that they cater to the crybabies, right? They cater to the people who bitch all the time and complain, and that's 90% of the Call of Duty, community. But back when the old Call of Duties were, people are like, oh well, they used to do updates for because the entire community could agree that something was broken, right? Yeah. Just because you can get headshot from a Kar 98 across the map and you can't do it, but that guy can, doesn't mean that the Kar 98 is broken. It just means that you need to get better at the game. And that's just the way it is.
Nerf it.
Yeah, nerf it. Or it goes the same way with the release too. Like people cry, oh, where's my Call of Duty this year? Oh, where's my Halo? Why isn't this? Why isn't this released? Why isn't this released? And people blast these companies for delaying their game. Look at Halo Infinite, dude. If you look at the changes it went through, they were originally supposed to release it in October, and they pushed it off almost 6 months to fix the game. And if you look at the gameplay in October compared to what they released, it was night and day. The game was completely different because they took their time and they didn't listen to all of the little Timmies out there who were bitching and crying that they didn't have their new Halo yet. But these other publishers, they just caved, dude. I mean, Cyberpunk, I firmly believe that if Cyberpunk had delayed it a year, like they were in talks of doing, it would have been a great game. But instead, they just released it because people just blasted them, man. Like, there's
now you
no
got
patience.
all this negative around the game that even though the game's fixed, it runs smooth on PC, it runs great on console now. Nobody's gonna play it because everyone thinks, oh, that was the biggest shit release of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I think that the reason games are released broken is just a huge mix, dude. Just a huge mix. I mean,
and not to mention, and this is a little bit more controversial of a topic. Game studios now almost have to make sure they have a lesbian or a gay character in their game, or they're afraid they're going to get fucking canceled.
Right.
Instead of the game developer being able to put out what they want to put out. It's now, oh, well, we got to make sure, like I don't need a fucking backstory on a goddamn Overwatch character and why they're a lesbian.
Yeah.
I don't give a flying fuck. What are their skills and what can I use them for? Like, that's all I care about is the fucking game. And that's another thing that's been kind of contributing to the downfall is just, oh, is it politically correct? Do we have the proper character to put in there? Like, nobody cares about that. The people who care about that are not your fucking people playing the game.
Well, and you look at some of the older games, right? They had diversity, they had all this stuff, and they just naturally put it in their games without having to worry about it. And now you write the story, right? You write the outline for your game, you write the character archetypes that you want. You write all this stuff, and then you have to go through and make sure that every single thing is going to be PC and going to be accepted by the community as a whole. Instead of just being able to be like, hey, look, we included as much of the different, races, genders. We try to keep it as equal as possible, but sometimes it just doesn't fit in the narrative, and I'm sorry, But instead of saying that, they just try to force it in there, and it makes it a lot harder. And I don't think that that's necessarily game breaking, but it is definitely a huge challenge for game developers, I would say.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Because I was actually thinking about that because there was, with it being Black History Month, I saw a TikTok with somebody wanting to know your favorite game character who was black, and I thought it was really cool. I was like, oh yeah, let me. I don't pay attention. I won't be honest. I don't pay attention half the time in games. But I will tell you right now that Sergeant Johnson takes the cake. And it was funny, dude. I was watching through the stitches and stuff, and it was like all these people were talking about older games, not the new ones, not the new characters, where they're like trying to push this diversity narrative or whatever. It's all these older games. It's all these older games where they didn't try to force it. They didn't do anything. They just naturally they just had these characters who were diverse with race and background and all this stuff. And I feel like the more you try to force it, the less relatable the characters get, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, if you look back, Sergeant Johnson is one of the most pivotal characters in the Halo universe, and he's black. You don't know anything about John, right? About Master Chief. For all we know, he could be Asian, right?
Yeah.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Exactly. And so it's like, half the cast of Halo is of a different race. And it wasn't forced, it wasn't pushed, but you look at some games today and it's like, they'll be raiding a house in Africa, and you'll have somebody, like in Call of Duty, you go through and you could be raiding a house in the middle of the Middle East, dude, and for some reason there's going to be someone from every single race in this house, and it's like, okay, that doesn't really make sense though. Because look at geographically where you're at, look at the organization that you're trying to take down. Like, that doesn't make sense, but it's in there so that nobody cries.
Yep, exactly.
And
that's what they want.
You can cancel me for that all you want, but that is my true, honest to God opinion on the matter.
So yeah, I mean, I think we covered Gohard's question rather well. If I was to sum it up, it would basically be that I think the worst things affecting it are making games for the lowest common denominator, and battle royales kind of changed everything, and we're in this limbo of games where we don't know what the fuck we want. For all we know, something could drop tomorrow out of nowhere, and it's the new best thing in the world, and that's what we're all playing.
Yep. And to sum it up for me, I think that game companies cater too much to the crybabies in their fan base and don't pay attention to the people who actually appreciate the franchise or the game for what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Redline, do you have any closing thoughts?
Good question.
No, I agree. They need to figure it out, and they need to quit. They need to listen to the community as a whole, not just this person or that person, because it's really going to ruin games. It's going to make it so people don't want to play them anymore. We're going to stick with old games that we know are fucking good, and we don't have to worry about crybabies.
Yeah, that's a huge, dude. I'm going to say that is a huge thing I've noticed lately is a lot of people are going back to older games that they're already comfortable with because they can't find a new game that they actually thoroughly enjoy. I mean, you look at people, DayZ's numbers have gone up, right? The Star Wars The Old Republic had a massive influx in player base. The Halo Infinite may be a new game, but it's Halo. It's Halo. They didn't really do too much to it, right?
No, it didn't change much at all.
Yeah, one of the most played games. The new Call of Duty, the Fortnite, all of this stuff, their player numbers are plummeting to people going back to older games. Escape from Tarkov's been out since 2015, and people are going back to that. I mean, some of the massive creators on the platform who were playing Apex and Call of Duty full time are now playing other games that they're more comfortable with, older games.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that's what happened to me. I went back to DayZ for a month because I'm like, I don't know what I want to play, and it sure shit ain't Warzone, and there wasn't any games out I really wanted to get into.
What is
so
that?
Yeah,
just looking at Twitch right now in the categories with viewers of games, Pokemon of all things is sitting at 31.5 thousand viewers. Warzone is sitting at 66.1. I remember getting on Twitch and Warzone was over 100,000 fucking viewers every time you get on. And you've got Pokemon sitting 30,000 viewers behind it. So you're talking a single player game compared to multiplayer.
Yeah, that is a little surprising. I feel like Pokemon deserves more because I feel like this game is a little more revolutionary compared to what they usually put out.
And
But
I can fully agree with that because this game is nothing compared to any Pokemon game that has ever been released in the 20 years that the game's been out.
yeah. And Warzone, I feel like it's just a bunch of, it's still free. That's the thing. It's a free game.
Yeah, you don't have to go pay $65 for it.
Yeah.
If you had to pay $40 for Warzone, it would die.
Yeah.
I'm calling it.
I would probably go back to playing it. If they said tomorrow, hey, okay, yup, guess what? $40. I'll buy it and I'll play it.
Yeah.
Right? I guarantee you that would happen because almost all of the cheaters, all of the fucking extremely toxic 12-year-olds gone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, you know what? I think I agree. I think we covered Gohard's question. Great question, Gohard. If you guys out there are listening to this, or if you're in our chats and you're watching this live and you guys have a question for us, or you have something that you want us to answer, you can send it to us on Twitter, Discord. You can DM it to us. You can also hop in Twitch to either one of our channels at Uncle_Legend and Red_Devil 321, and you guys can let us know as well, and you can get the Discord links and everything in there. Redline, it's been great having you on, man. Thank you for coming by on Opig Mike Night. Shout out to Vash as well. I appreciate you guys coming in here. That made it a lot of fun. But Redline, I'm going to kick you out as we do our closing remarks. All right, brother?
Sounds good, bud.
All right. Just move him up
Big
there.
old fucking vape as he's leaving.
Yeah.
Oh.
But no, I think, you know what? I think that's going to end the podcast for today, though, unless you had anything else you wanted to talk about, Red.
It's slow. It's gaming news is slow. Gaming's slow right now. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing, man.
All right. Nothing. Well, if you guys wanted to catch us on anything, you can always catch us over on Twitch. I already plugged our channel, so you guys can feel free to swing by either one of our channels. We both tend to stream fairly frequently. I stream daily. Red generally tends to stream at least 3 to 4 times a week. So you can catch both of us live over on Twitch. You can also follow the Balderdash podcast on Twitter and on TikTok. Feel free to drop a follow on both of those at the Balderdash on Twitter and the Balderdash podcast on TikTok. You can also find recordings of the live show with video on YouTube. I generally tend to post it the day after recording. So 9 times out of 10, they will be posted the Tuesday following the recording. And you can also listen to it live if you haven't already over on Spotify, Apple Music, and Google Podcasts. You can check it out there. Be sure to rate, comment, the whole 9 on those. It helps us out a ton.
That's one of the best ways to help the podcast.
Yes, sir. Also, if you wanted to join the community, head on over to the Discord. It'll be in the link to the YouTube video. It's also plugged on both of our channels on Twitch. Head on over to the Discord. We're always hanging out in the Discord call. We're talking to each other. That's how the podcast started. And we're staying true to that. So if you ever wanted to come by and just say hi, ask us how we're doing or anything like that, you can always feel free to hop in a Discord call if you see us in there. Huge shout out to Vash. It's me, Vash, and Gold X Redline. Thank you guys so much for hopping on the podcast today. That is going to get us out of here. We appreciate you guys so much. The podcast has grown quite a bit over the last few weeks, and we know that it's all thanks to you guys. So we wouldn't be where we are without you guys, and we love each and every one of you. We love our community very much. And yeah, with that, Red, why don't you get us out of here?
All right, as quoted by Ronald Reagan, if you ever need to bury a body, plant endangered plants over it so it's illegal to dig up.